Call your sponsor.
Call you sponsor. Call you sponsor.
Call you
sponsor. Call you.
Welcome back to Bitch Call Your Sponsor. This is Misty
Hi, Misty.
and Sam. And we are here to do our primary purpose.
Our
Primary purpose is for Misty and Sam to grow their friendship and maybe help others. All right. My topic goes so good with our last topic. It's like a fine pairing of cheese and wine, ironically.
Love cheese and wine.
The topic today is wearing life like a loose garment. And so as I was looking this up, it was talking about, the meaning of wearing life like a loose garment is to make things, it kind of said like purpose, like comedic, that you have a lighthearted take on something that is serious. Which reminds me of a shift in perspective, which a shift in perspective is a miracle. And so I think of life like, am I taking this situation, am I wearing it like a wetsuit? Or am I wearing it like a caftan? And the goal is caftan, Mrs. Roper. And what I'm doing more often than not is wetsuit and strangling myself and claustrophobic and can't breathe and nobody can help me unzip it and I can't get it off and it's, a whole shamazel. We are really going back to our 80s TV with this one.
Okay, Laverne.
Mr. Furley walked in the door. Like, what? What's happening here? So that's it. Thoughts?
Okay. I have a lot of thoughts and I'm so grateful to hear you talk about the wetsuit because I always saw the opposite of a loose garment as like a corset, which could also be very sexy and alluring and seductive and slimming, And so the thought of a wetsuit is like, F that. I do not want a wetsuit. That to me is not sexy as like a corset. So I need to reframe that in my brain and get rid of the corset thought versus this caftan like moo situation that can be quite inviting. So I guess I'm seeing this as like comfortable sweats or something, like one of those types of things.
Can somebody help me make a chic caftan for Sam? But yes, sweats will do. Chic sweats, of course.
Yeah.
But I love how you romanticize the opposite of a loose garment. That is amazing. Good job.
Yeah, it was total corset. It was like almost like 80s, like Madonna in her like corset, where it's like
right. You're like, why
why
would you want to even wear a loose garment? Like this is so Dolce and Gabbana.
You can't see anything in the loose garment. Anyway, so yes, I appreciate this topic. I love how they're aligned with our previous podcast episode, and I actually tend to feel more comfortable with restrictions and stern discipline, and it's not even. I wouldn't even say they're boundaries. It's just stern discipline because that's what I grew up in.
Right. It feels familiar.
Familiar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the loose garment is like, wait, what? I can just go anywhere and do anything? No, 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 no. Where am I beating myself up? Where is somebody saying no? Let me keep going until somebody does say no.
That's exactly it. That's
Mm-hmm.
exactly it. It's scary.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary. It's still
Right. Like,
scary.
yeah, that's what I was talking about, where the no is actually more comfortable. It's like, yeah, it's a no. There
Mm,
we go, you know?
yeah.
So, yeah, I have an example of this loose garment thing. Oh, this is
I
another
love
thing
it.
too. As I was studying up for this, they said somebody, or it gave the example of watching your life as if it's a comedy and the audience is, you know, laughing at your failures. And when you think about it, like something I've been planning for weeks and working on, if it were in a movie and I got news that that whole thing was being diverted, the audience would be laughing. It'd be side
Mm,
splitting. Like, look at
mm,
her. She's been planning this for weeks and now it's derailed. Ha ha ha. You know? And
mm-hmm.
then this week, okay. So at my job, there's events. And last year, around this time, we had this big event, and my brand new boss decided to go out of the country for a week because finally she had some help, right? So she leaves me with this huge event, and I've never worked it before. So
Mm.
I did dot all my I's and cross all my T's, except for one thing, which was I had on there to the landscaping team to make sure they turned off the sprinklers,
Mm.
but the landscaping team were not on the email that said that.
Ah.
So about 8 p.m. at night with 2,000 people on a lawn, the sprinklers started going off. And mind you, this is like a cancer thing where people write notes in this tent. So all the notes were getting soaking wet. I mean, it was
Mm.
bad beyond bad, right?
So this is the part where I'm the audience watching the movie and I'm
Yes.
laughing. Okay, I get it. I
Yes.
really
Yes.
get it.
But here we are a year later,
Mm.
and the event has come back around, and all these people that live out of town have flown back in. And guess what? Everybody's asking, are the sprinklers off? Are the sprinklers off? And guess what? My boss stayed in town this time, you know?
Mm.
And oh my God, Sam, the amount of times that somebody saw me and was like, sprinklers. I was just like, I have got to just wear a sash like I'm Miss America that says sprinklers. And thank God I have enough sobriety that when it first happened, I was like, they said, are the sprinklers off? And I was like, no, you know, it was such a great story and y'all all got so much out of it. We've decided to double down and we're going to have sprinklers everywhere this time. So that's how I was able to reply the first time. And I think the second time and then the third. But last night, by the end of the night, when somebody saw me and was like, sprinklers, I was like, okay, enough. Enough. And I texted my boss something and she texted back because she's at home and I was there. She texted back, well, at least the sprinklers didn't go off. I was like, oh my, I was going to throw the phone. Like I can only do comedy for so long till we turn it into a horror movie, people. But I was grateful for even the pause of wearing it like a loose garment, you know?
Wow, I love that story. My brain is mush right now. I was so in the story that I don't have an
You
example,
were
but I love
you were my
I
audience. You were
I was the
laughing.
audience and I was like,
Yeah.
wow. I was like, this is like legit ninja. Like Misty described the thing and I'm like, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. And then she literally lays it out like a layup and I'm like, ah, and I literally am experiencing what you shared about, which I understood but didn't actually know, and now I know. And that is
Right.
ultimately recovery, right? Is
Yes.
that
Yes.
you can talk about
Experience, strength,
things.
and hope.
Yes, it's experiential. You told me about this concept And then I experienced it with you literally within minutes.
And it's so much easier when we do the laugh track to it.
Yes.
Instead of the horror movie. And oh my gosh, I thought of something from our last one when we were talking about the spy movies.
Yes.
Is the genre of comedy and spy movie, like Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, yes.
Like that could be it. Because
that is funny.
That's a perfect genre for it. If I can just okay, I'm in the spy mode. Oh, I need to get in the comedy, or how can I combine these?
That's hilarious. That is. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I don't want to be Debbie Downer.
Bring it. We need some Debbie Downer in here.
So I think for me, because I like the restrictions, the rules, the things, all of that stuff, it actually is very diminishing for myself. And what ends up happening is minimal connection.
Tell me more.
Because there's a perfectionist in me that doesn't want to, I think of loose garment, color outside the lines, just have an experience, enjoy. It's like, no, it's like, we got to do it this way. You know what I mean? It's like perfectionist mother. It's like the pillows get karate chopped one way, multiple times, but always the same way. God forbid we try to karate chop the pillows a different way.
Right. Well, and I think that's what it is that's why it's wearing it like a loose garment, because we have to try on outfits that feel uncomfortable until they feel comfortable. And I'll never forget my first sponsor saying, what you find uncomfortable today, you'll find comfortable, later. And what you find comfortable today, you will find uncomfortable later.
That is so beautiful. I legit just got chills, because for me, that is actually the definition of growth.
Right. That's the miracle. That's the shift in perspective. And some people, here's the best thing, and here's where we need to pat ourselves on the back, okay? Some people will go their whole lives and never even examine these concepts. Ugh.
I've been thinking a lot, or looking at these the emoji that's like the replay emoji with the arrows. Where it's like, it replays, where it's like I can get stuck in that mousetrap, exactly what you're saying, of like doing the same thing, what's defined as insanity, doing the same, expecting different results. I don't know if I was expecting different results. I think I was just in a habitual pattern of doing things.
Right. Well, and that's where it comes to let yourself off the hook, right? Because it's living out a loop, but the loop was not inserted by you. Like, you don't get to have the 40 lashings for just going on the loop.
Yeah.
The loop was inserted and told you this is the way of safety. And now it takes so much effort to even go, wait, I'm in the loop. That is a miracle. Just even recognizing a loop is where we start. And we go, yes, that's amazing.
I can apply this to so many patterns. And what my experience has been was like, let's double down, let's not do this. Let's resist that. Let's, what I mean? Let's double down, there have been times throughout my life where I was like, okay, skinny jeans don't fit. Like, what is the plan? Let's get the plan. Okay, God, let's come along. This is the plan. Let's do this. Help me get to this result.
Call you sponsor.
Sponsor.
Call you
Call
sponsor.
your
Call you
sponsor.
sponsor. Call you.
Bitch, call your sponsor.
Call your sponsor. Call
New episode
your
tomorrow.
sponsor.
Send us an email, bcysponsor@gmail.com.